Good morning. Happy Tuesday Eve. For those of you who do not trade full time, that greeting will be relevant because people hate Monday. When you work a 9 to 5, 5 days a week kind of job, or maybe six, whatever. Mondays are, it's after the weekend. People go back to work and they're like, the grind again. So we used to focus on saying Happy Tuesday Eve. We're looking forward to Tuesday already. I don't know. Maybe that's not the right way to embrace on Monday, but we used to ingest and say things like that. Anyway, I'm working on another Americano here as we come up to opening VWAP 30 seconds. You can see it on the volume bars chart. Some passive sellers into essentially the open. I wouldn't be surprised if they sell a little bit here. We have balance. We have balance down here. Let's see if this will work here. Let me try something. We have balance. Nope, it's not working. Okay, need to open this up. All right, minimize that. Now this should work. Okay. No, not gonna work. Well, that's not nice. Let me see here. It says it's working. There it goes. Anyway, we have balance down here. Let's see if we could change colors too. Yay! Okay, cool. We have balance, so top of balance is about here, right? Notice that we have consolidation, so this will likely act as resistance. There's a seller waiting here. You can see the little liquidity. Let's see. Hey, all right. These shortcut keys are set up better now. All right, there we go. All right, so I'll be back. The coffee's doing its job, so let me relieve myself here, and then I'll be back on the stream. I'll leave it up, but anyway, hope you guys are doing good. Morning, morning, morning. Good morning, Andre. Good day, Andre. Hey, email me, Andre. I sent you a long email, buddy. Anyway, I'll step right back. Look at me putting Andre on the spot. I've been I've been patiently waiting. I've been patiently waiting for your email, Andre. It's okay. All right, I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Hey, so how's the trading gone for you guys this morning? I hope it's gone well. Let's see. If you guys are, what the heck is going on here? What is happening? Um, I've got to figure something out real quick. All right. Ooh, very nice, Andre. Nice to hear it. Kermit, that's only 5 points. Yeah, it's ish happens, my friend. Let's see if we can change that. Let's see if we can change it together. I'm still gonna trade, but you guys aren't gonna see trades. Because I'm gonna trade E-mini, and I've been waiting for a while. So I took a short off of you know me, my Auto Magic plain painted lines, and I didn't get much compensation here. So uh, it's just not moving a lot here. So I'm kind of I'm at a point where I think this market may do something interesting here soon. Um, so I'm gonna be taking E-mini trades. I've been waiting for this thing to potentially um, break up or down. I didn't really care which way. I just wanted it to do something. And then when it broke up, I was like, well, this is not really how I want this thing to break up either. It's just a boring market, but in terms of trying to time trades and then get online, it was bad timing to say 2 or 3 minutes because I was like, oh, well, now I want to take a trade and I don't want to be distracted. But now I'm in a good spot. Everything's all set up the way I'd like it to be. A little bit of liquidity up here. The market's just sort of meandering through this level slowly. Huh. Anyway, if you guys are connected, if you guys could hit the like button, that would be cool. We'll get more people in here, and it'll tell the YouTube algorithm, hey, maybe we should suggest this live stream, and then we'll get the party started in here. Get a few more people, get a few more people talking about markets. Andre says, I bought on the basis that it was a 2 standard deviation from mean. In other words, Andre, 2 standard deviation from mean, is that based on VWAP or is that, what is that? You're the man, Kermit. Thank you, buddy. All right, let's get this treadmill going here. I've been standing for a while, but I have not been walking. I stayed up quite late last night and traded past midnight my time, so 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I was trading, so it's a little rough. I was not up at the early time this morning, and I did well last night. I didn't catch huge, humongous moves, but after the European Open, um, we got some really nice movement, and order flow was kind of easy to read. I wasn't getting, I didn't feel like I was gonna get chopped up so much in. There we go. so much with all these market maker algos and liquidity where they just pull and stack. They're like, oh, someone new coming in. Here, let's bend you over for a little bit. Um, you slept too much. Gosh, I wish I had that problem. VWAP, says Andre. Okay, cool. Right on, buddy. I'm glad the trade is working out for you. Here, let's switch screens. This footprint and these volume bars. I mean, although they're interesting. So let's first off, let me put a little level on this chart here. I hope this works. Let's see. Yep, it did. Okay, good. Right there. We'll put that level here. So that's resistance. And it's interesting how okay, here, let's switch screens here real quick. Let's switch screens. Oh, I'm all out of sorts right now. Okay, top left. I'm on a Windows machine, guys. I'm no longer on Linux right now, and it's just, it's throwing me a little bit, a little curveball. Things are in a different spot, look slightly different. I don't know, creature of habit over here. Let's make sure I can see this screen. You know what I should do? I should add a chat doc to. That is much better. Haha. Now my chat doc is right where my OBS is. Booyah! That's what I'm talking about. All right. We've improved things a little bit. Okay, cool. So up here in this area, it is interesting that on the volume bars, we're saying this is resistance based on regular trading hours. Look, you see how the price went up and down and up and down with 15. Oh, sorry. Let's move it, change it back. All right, we'll get faster. I'm getting slowly up to speed. See how price in this area went up and down? Here, I'll zoom in real quick. This is the open, this teal line right here. Right. Oh, I don't know. We'll call it there. We're suggesting that traders are trapped here off the open. You see how there's liquidity up here at 85? So as we get 2.5 points, essentially, what, 2 points is 8 ticks? So 2.5 points is 10 ticks. All the retail people will see the liquidity. So as we get into this area, I think they're going to sell, which is its resistance here. So this is a 1500 volume bar. So in other words, each one of these candlesticks is 1500 contracts. On the 5-minute chart, you don't really see that. Here, top left, let's switch over. You see that? That's the same zone. When I draw that resistance zone on the volume bars chart, it just looks like a wick on the 5-minute. So you don't really see the activity that went on when you look at a 5-minute chart. You do see a little, you see a little bit of volume here, but you don't know what the action was, right? Maybe you think, if you come back and look at this later, you think on a 5-minute, you think it came up, it just pushed, and there was resistance. No, instead, on a volume bar, this was up and down, up and down, up and down, several times. So that price action that occurred right here in this area is absolutely, it's essential to know if it's stronger resistance based on the movement that occurred in here, right? If these volume bars were green, and then red, right, with the same volume profile, without the up and down movements that likely got longs going, hey, this thing's strong, it's bouncing, they wouldn't be as trapped, right? They would have said, the market was here. I'm trying to use trying to use a tool that's not really working out for me right now. It's really irritating. Here, let me see if this will work better now. Nope. Look, it even shows. Oh, that's weird. I guess this eye tool, let's see. Yep. This whole tool needs to be expanded, not collapsed. I think there's a little error when I do that. Look at that. Yeah, that's it. There you go. All right, well, we'll keep that out then. All right, let's move it down to another chart. It does a weird thing in Windows, let me tell you. Anyway, coming back into that zone now. 80s, so real close to resistance. But anyway, because we had the movement like this, then down, it's different than movement, 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 and then movement, 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 right? Totally different. One's a lot more trappy. All right, let's clear that. And let's get rid of all of this. Go F1. All right. Getting close. Little consolidation here. Let's see if what happens. It is interesting because we're counting bars here, right? We're counting the number of bars left to right. And then we're counting number of bars here. So we may get a brief foray into this area. We have a little liquidity sitting up here. Where is it at? Where's that liquidity at? $85? It's gone now. It is gone now. Huh. Interesante. Interesting. Oh, I hate Windows so much sometimes. Okay, let's see. Into the zone. There was 1,051 contracts sold at 80. Whoa. Yeah, 82. See that? Early in the session. You see that? All right, little resistance. What a quiet group of people today. Anyway, what are you guys seeing on the screen here? Yeah, you're seeing the same thing. Okay. Let's. And it gets exponentially more difficult to stream when you're just learning a new layout. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. All right, let's go up here. Trying to incorporate all this Stream Deck stuff again, and boy, oh boy, oh boy. What's happening? Why is this lock fill space on or what? What's going on here? Weird. All right. Anyway, we get the volume bars look here. Some heavy selling on the footprint up here. Let's see if we can do a measured move here on another chart. Boy, I'm going to try to keep up. And it's a little bit too many screens. All right, here we go. I'll do that, that. Oh, Windows, I hate you. Okay. All right. I just suck. All right. Let's go up here. What is that? Plus 18.5? Okay. So wrong. I'll go here, here. About, let's see. 100% gets us to highs, but I don't think it's going to get there. Ah, it might. It might. We might just go take out highs. And that's it. We'll see. We are into heavy resistance here. So pullback time. Maybe. Well, I got Windows functioning a little more smoothly by optimizing all the background processes and uh, startup programs and getting rid of all of the fancy pants Windows and all that stuff. You know, where the windows open up with all kind of smooth graphics and turned all the performance stuff off up, got rid of background processes, went through and optimized all the charts. In Sierra chart, meaning, you know, increased tick sizes on the charts where appropriate. Um, you know, went through the performance, what is it, that 30 topic, help topic 30, where it's like performance issues. Basically went through the whole thing on this Windows machine and set every little thing. Um, Made sure nothing was linked in a weird way, scrolling, data, some data I turned off for various charts, different types of data, split records, blah, 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 you know, all of that. It's a sleepy market. Snooze fest. What's the VIX doing? Let's see. Isn't it sad that I feel like I need more screens? Sometimes I feel like I need more screens. I don't want to have to minimize, especially when you're streaming. You don't want to minimize and okay. S&P 100 personal futures. You guys ever run into the Thinkorswim um, maintenance thing on Sunday where it no longer shows open positions? It no longer shows an account balance, and you think, was I hacked? What's going on? Freaked out. Happened to me Sunday. Like, why are all my positions? Why is my account balance zero? Everything's connected. Like, oh, maintenance Sunday. Anyway, let's see here. By the way, that Twitter trade was a loser. That was that highly speculative long. Got to cut that. At some point, you just got to say, well, it didn't pan out. Hmm. You always feel though, when price moves against you, like you're selling the bottom though. Like, what if I'm selling the bottom? There's always that feeling, but you have to decide Well, it didn't do what I wanted it to do. So cut it and forget about it. Move on. VIX up 5%. And yet this market's moving the way it is. Oh, Andre, I think you've got the idea right. High VIX. VIX up. Market meandering up. Lots of headline. Let's go look at options. Hold on. Let's see. There you are, SPX options. Okay. Mm. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess you could say 3880 is a little bit of a call wall here, right? Also happens to be the open. Next call wall 3890 and then 3900's big. 3860. That's why we got all that action around 3860. Hmm. Meandering up. Big absorption up here. Plus what, 600 delta or so? I think that's about what it is. Let's see. Yeah. 614 deltas up there at 83. Time to enter a little bit short. We've got liquidity 8150. $112 contracts transacted there short term. Tiny bit of refill, not much. Fodder. Yes, the market is meandering up, but I think we're gonna head down here. We're short some 82.25. Let's see. Below 80, then we'll maybe see a little spurt. But 80's that call wall too. So let's see. VIX dropping like a stone. Yeah, Trevor. I mean, you got some potential trap longs up there. Chris, analysis paralysis, my friend. Good thing is you can still take a trade with defined risk, and as long as it conforms to your edge, let it fly, my friend. It's a good setup, my friend. What is that, Mark Douglas? Don't have to know what's going to happen next to make money. All right, let's see. Yes, there you go. Yeah, this chat thing is stupid. There we go. OBS was not working the way it's supposed to work here. Uh-oh, not good. Little data. Little data. Reconnect. All right, we're okay. You know, the worst thing is you get a data reconnect, and then your stop is hit. You're like, man. Oops, they did it again. All right, taking off some here at 79 and a quarter. +3. Would like to get, let's see, I'd like to get some down here into 77 quarters if I can. We'll take some 78 quarters. Come on, refill. I'm willing to buy. Are you willing to sell? Okay, cool. Thanks. +4 on those. Runners left. This is a winning trade no matter what. Woohoo. Trevor, I was explaining that we have resistance based off this volume bar chart. And what I was explaining a little bit earlier is because of the way we moved in through here. That's a little bit of a resistance zone, so we should get some reaction here. So that's the reason for it. I'd rather see those 614. I mean, look, Trevor, you never know, right? One trader anywhere, one big trader can negate your edge. So you never know, right? Let's just in this trade setup, let's accept that first, that you can be wrong. As soon as you accept that you can be wrong on this trade and you're at peace with that, entering the trade is not so difficult. It's like going to a casino. When you go to the casino, do you expect to lose? Sure, you do. Are there probabilities involved? And you still play because what? It's entertaining, it's fun. You're okay with losing that money, right? So you play the probabilities and you understand the probabilities. You go to this casino, you say, not a big deal. Well, with trading, there's no such thing as a 100% win rate. There isn't. So when you accept you're going to lose sometimes, you're free to play and just play your edge. And if you lose that trade, the emotional reaction that you get after a loss is negated because you went in expecting to possibly lose. So all you got to do here is just look at the setup and say, I think there are enough factors here that potentially give me edge. Right? I saw the 83, so then I was able to hit the ask at 25, 82.25. So that's my trade. Right? I want to add to the selling pressure. I don't want to passively say, you got to come get me. No, I don't want the market showing strength to come fill my order in this kind of market. Right? I think I have a good location based on the intraday chart. So I'm going to go hit the bid with the expectation that I'm going to get paid lower. That sends a signal to the rest of market participants. Not like my one trade does, but I'm adding to selling pressure. So that's what I did. Anyway, on the 10 SMA, We have an incomplete auction on the footprint, meaning right at this level, we had buyers want to cover aggressively, but there was still interest to sell. That's all it means. So still interest to sell probably goes lower. Maybe short covering right here. Some of you sloppy traders wanting to get out ahead of the 10 SMA. Cool. All right, so some higher delta here in this bar. What, plus 342 and 175? It's P-Dunk. It's nothing. All right, look at the volume profile. The volume profiles. The traders are trapped up here, here, and here. So we have some traders trapped here, so maybe a little foray into 76, 77. We'll see. But don't discount that we have traders trapped up here. So when they really start selling, they're going to sell hard probably. I will stop above this high, 83.50, for a winning trade. Why? Because I took 3 and 4 points. We get back up there, then I don't want to be any part of it. This is such a meandering market. I mean, it's like Andre said, VIX dropping like a stone. Let's see. Let's go to the charts. Lex Grid. VIX. I don't know. I don't know. It is dropping. It's on support though. Well, actually it's not on support yet. I would say it gets, it's probably looking at, you probably get a bounce on the VIX at 25.50 to 55. So, yeah, Andre's long. He's more of a swing type trader. Hold it. I'm over here scalping short-term moves. We'll see. Back up into the liquidity zone here. So look at the volume, right? We had volume up here, a little bit of volume here. Right now we're just rotating back up in range. Look at all that high delta though above. So you can see it a little bit more clearly on the. We can see it a little more clearly. Hold on, let me expand this screen here. On this footprint chart. Sorry, TPO chart. Right, you see the high delta up here? Right there at 83. So that's from a few minutes ago. Mainly, that's the 800 delta up there. At the open, we had the up and the down. I'm going to get stopped on this trade. I think. I'm out here at 82.75. Bink. I'm going to take my stop. Why? It's because this is an incomplete auction up here. Still interest. So I'd rather get out for a 2-tick loss on the remainder of the position up here. Because I was short 82.25. Then wait for it to hit up here. And then maybe have a little bit of slippage if we push up. There's the 100% extension of symmetrical triangle, or I guess we can call it a symmetrical triangle on the 5-minute. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm seeing. Dang it! Need a bigger screen. See, if I had a bigger screen, you'd see the whole 49, but then you wouldn't see anything at all, really. Anyway, incomplete auction up here, so that's why I'm willing to get out. In retrospect, could I have just gotten out at 81? Sure, but when I decide that I want to get out, So let's analyze the action up here, shall we? Now that I'm calm and out of my trade and waiting for something else. Um, at this level, let's see, right here, you notice. So this is all that positive delta, right? We come up, what happens? We leave an incomplete auction up here, and the sellers get aggressive. Short term. But what this incomplete auction also signifies is that there's still a lot of interest, call it I, to buy here. It's just that short term we're rotating out traders. So if I'm seeing short term interest to buy, yes, we're getting rid of all the trap traders right now in this little pullback here. But I'm immediately going to get out. Why? Because I'm concerned with if my stop is up, my stop was here, that I'm going to have a lot of slippage. So I'm making a guess as to we're eventually going to come back up here, and I've already quickly decided that's what I'm saying. So I'm out for the 2-tick loss off of my 82.25 short. That's what I'm doing. And I don't care that in hindsight, I could have got out of the trade here. I don't care. I've already made my decision. I don't want to be a part of this on the short side. So that's what that's about. All right, now this thing's working as it should. So it turns out, so this is, Epic Pen. You've got to leave this whole thing open. I thought, I've had it work where you don't have this menu expanded. So like here, I've hit it again, and it's not doing anything. But let's see. 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, see, now it's working well. Okay. It's weird that it's like a whole. Do you guys see that? It's like a whole white screen. Like, I don't know. It's a weird. To me, this is weird that it's actually controlling like a dialog box that's way bigger, and I'm seeing that in Windows. I think you guys should be able to see it. Anyway, yeah, it's a whole thing. Epic. I hate this thing. Yeah. What do you hate, Dirk? Epic Pen? uh. You know what worked better for me than Epic Pen was whatever it was, MP Grommet in Linux. But my Stream Deck won't work correctly in Linux with Sierra Chart. Otherwise, I would absolutely be on Linux right now. 100%. I'm dizzy. Anyway, we're rotating inventory up here. I am trading minis today, Miran. Yeah. I explained it kind of early in the session, maybe 10, 15 minutes ago or something. I don't know. Oh, wait, maybe it's longer. Maybe it's 20 minutes ago. I looked down at my treadmill. It says I've been walking for 34 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun. Anyway, if you guys are just tuned in here, please like the feed. Maybe we'll get a party started in here. In this, well, let's make this channel more interesting than this freaking market. This flipping market. Because it is not a fun market here. Unless you're Andre and you bought the dip and you held and now you're sitting pretty. Anyway, incomplete auction at the top and the bottom. We all buy the dip. Yeah, BTFD, baby. What's Bitcoin doing these days? Let's take a look. Oh boy. 20,600. I sold all my bitcoins at 20,300. I don't buy the bottom and sell the top. Oh, bummer. But I did buy 18.2 and 17.9 and 17.7. I thought it was a great trade in the moment. I bought ETH at 900 and 903. Some poor sob sold the bottom on ETH on Coinbase. 3,000 ETH at 904, 905, something like that. It was pretty funny to see. It was crypto panic. So they came in with 3,000 ETH and sold it right at 905. I took on the bid below it and I helped gobble that thing because it doesn't matter. Coinbase is going to screw me over. Oh, God. What a disappointment. Coinbase is going to screw me over anyway. I don't trade enough crypto. But I traded a fair amount there. So that was nice. But, I definitely should have held more. Because on the ETH, I sold a lot of it about 70, 80 points higher into 990. Sucks. But it's a quick plus 8%, All right, here's the move I wanted. Son of a gun. I'm punished for not waiting. All right, well, we took out the bottom side. I don't run a live trade room, Bish. This is your live trade room, my friend. What kind of delay do we have on the feed here? What, 7 seconds? Maybe? Let's see. I guess I got to bring up my YouTube to see. About 7 or 8 seconds is what I count, guys. Ooh, big seller at 75. Man, that 75. Do you guys see that action overnight? The last 3 sessions? A big iceberg passive buyer at 75. That was really interesting. So where I got long last night and I took a shot with a 1 tick stop was ice at 63.50. That's where I was playing. And I would have loved to say I caught 15 points, but I didn't. I caught 6 points roughly. All right. I am trying to get long here. I'm trying to get long off of the open right here at 73s. Come on. All right. I am not live every day. Hmm. Mm. We have incomplete auction here too at 72.75. Mm. Ba, ba, ba. alive and kicking trade room. Man, that opening VWAP, most perfect. Son of a gun. I wish I could say that I filled any contracts, but I did not. Hmm. Anyway, let's get rid of this. Get rid of this thing here. So we still have here. We have an incomplete auction, right? That's right in this area here. From there, let's see. To erase all that. Now this area will hold some stops short term. So if we come back in here, little volume breakdown off of essentially balance up here. So in this area, we got a trend line. So stops to here might then roll over. We'll see. The market's moving in such a way to get a lot of stops up here. And it's kind of right, a short-term little BBWC in a way. But remember, one of the principles of BBWC, you get up, a little move like this, and then back in is not a good setup. The market may move that way, right? According to our little analysis with our trend lines. But that's also a bit of an anti. Oh, here we go. Sell it now. So it's also a bit of an anti. And you don't want to be taking a short when the market has not done this and then made a big steep move like that. You want to be taking a short here when the market's made a big move. What we've done just now is made a tiny little move down. If we come back in, it might just be higher lows and trend up. So the BBWC, the really good setup is this one here, right? Because that did exactly what I was talking about from here, right? You know what gets me nervous on a BBWC like this, though, is this is a ton of volume. I would actually like it to be less than this. So down, maybe go to here, right? The pink line, then make a move up and test it. Then I'm going in hot and heavy here, right? Looking for a big retrace. It's still working out, but I mean, that's just the optimal setup on principle. Anyway, good morning, Shane. Yeah, Chris. Just barely a breach of overnight value and return to overnight value midpoint. If I'm getting along, I like overnight value area low better than in the middle. Saclane Martin says, what does BBWC? I think Saclane is asking a trivia question. That's what I think. Who wins? I wish I could give out some sort of prize for somebody who gets it first. There you go. Sweeps. Stops hit. Big sweep on the book. All right, so that incomplete auction is now taken for a spin. Let's see what else is down here. Right here, we have traders that were wrong into 69s. 181 contracts. That guy's selling the bottom. Let's go hit it. Let's go hit it. 70, 181 contracts. I think he's wrong. We'll see. We will see. I like buying here because of also the profile. Goodbye 70. Everybody lining up on the ask, just the way we like it. You are now liquidity. But I want to short the breakout. Okay. Okay. Back into the negative deltas. Right up in this area. Big slew of negative deltas. Lots of negative delta here, too. Initiative delta. They're moving it. These are the players who say, I'm willing to sell here to get compensated lower. Or are you? You're running right into the thick of it. The body of the profile. So let's see if we go test 74 on a slightly higher time frame here on our puta prenta. Anyway, scene of the crime, right? See, these are the wicks. The profile, zip profile, value area low, 66s. Ooh, it's evil. So you take a shot. This profile might fill in up here. So 74s. It is filling in. So I would expect us to move higher. 74, 75. At least go test it. They're building volume on the profile here, on the footprint. Let's see. Right there. On the footprint. Built already volume. So that was that 300 and whatever lot. I said he's selling the bottom. 69 and a quarter. He's now underwater. He's underwater, what? 69, 70. He's underwater 5 ticks. Let's see. On a slow moving day, we will see. That's someone forced out. Sucks to be it sucks to be you. You got to exit somewhere, don't you? So I'm filled from a little bit below him, and I'm filled from him a little bit too. Into positive delta area. So you're going to get out some here? I am going to get out some here. Thank you. You're like, what? Taking 2 points? Well, you know, I'm doing the whole surgeon thing. Snipe it. And missing out on this whole move from my 82 and a quarter short. Damn it! It's all right. I don't know the future. You just MGI, right? Market generated info. Do the best you can. That's it. Don't sound like you know the future, Mike, because you don't. Just take bets based on edge. That's it. Shane, I like your name better. It's a base breakout with consolidation, but big breakout with consolidation is good too. All right, so the big lotter is now he's now charging. He's now or she is now happy. McFly knows the future. The flux capacitor is broken. Pierrick. I can't even remember what year they go back to. Is it 83? No, it can't be. 69? Wait, 69 would just make too much sense. Pierrick, you need to get back to 69! Because that is a very sexy price level. Which is where we're at right now. You youngins who didn't watch Back to the Future yet, I say yet, you should watch it. It's a classic. You're like, what is this guy? What is this crazy guy talking about? 69 makes all the sense in the world, Pierrick. Uh, Man, I love these hotkeys. Hotkeys for the win. Hotkeys for the win. Still long. Should I add here? No, it's just range. Just range. Maybe. What you saying, old man? No idea. Oh, big sweep. Big sweep. Was that on the NAS? Let me go look at that. I missed that. I want to see what that was. Oh, yeah, that was a nice sweep on the NAS. Woo! 59 to 51. Baby. And they hit 52s hard. There was someone sitting there at 52s. They said, "Oh, you want to try to bid it up? We're going to go pop it like it's hot." That's what that is. That's BDS. Yeah, but what point? I mean, they go back in time, right? October 26, 19. But where do they go back in time to? Isn't it like, is it the 50s or the 60s? Right? It's got to be the 50s, huh? Yeah, those sweeps. Love them. You know, sweeps create weakness from everybody, all the small traders that get caught up in those big trades. Because essentially you get quick movement, and then traders get out of profit, into profit, and they get a little panicked. And so they start worrying that a larger player is willing to take initiative. Whether or not they think about it that way doesn't matter. It's what the brain does, right? The brain goes, huh, something's happening here. And now it's not moving the way it was. I'm a little nervous, right? The hindbrain goes a little bonkers and says, I must survive, right? The hindbrain, that little P-bar part, the P-sized part of your brain, the lizard brain, that says, survive, survive, survive when you're trading. Especially when you're leveraged and your position's too big. You've got a teeny tiny account, you're like long 3 minis, and you're just hoping not to lose 20% of your account on one trade. Then you start panicking out. You're like, I want to get out for, I want to get out of this trade for, by the way, bounced on value area high. That's developing value area high here, right at 67. The brain starts going, you know, if I just take a few ticks, at least I'm not losing big against this big player that's sweeping now. Right? Isn't that what happens? You start to justify survival rather than, well, I have a stop, I have edge. I'm just going to take this area and not watch every tick and trade like a DICK. It doesn't sound right when I don't say it. But, you know, trying to keep the channel PG-ish. Shane sharing his Sierra chart woes with us. I'm sorry, Shane. You've got to pay your let's see, what is it? 7-Eleven? 7-Eleven. Delayed data. So you either haven't paid your monthly subscription or we got something else going on. Who knows? But the exchange fees, you know, those are on the first. So you've paid your exchange fees, unless it's the first time logging into Sierra for you for 2 weeks since July 1st or whatever. Yeah, Shane. Good thing, man. Jeez. Oh, I miss Linux already. Stream Deck, lack of Stream Deck and all. Yeah, the problem in Linux is when you have software that's developed by, I don't know, some third party. In this case, the Stream Deck UI. Um, Props to the person that did it for free and, you know, sharing it with the Linux community. That's great. But the problem is that it's not polling fast enough. So when it does connect, it's not fast. It's missing sometimes. My keyboard shortcuts are fine in Linux, but the Stream Deck, which should be telling the keyboard to the operating system, do this now, does not pull fast enough. It's a whole thing. It'll work sometimes, but it doesn't work all the time. That's a problem. That is a problem. And it does, the Stream Deck does run as sudo, right? So it's like, it's configured correctly. It's never worked as well. It's gotten worse and worse. So that's a problem. It's the only problem mainly the only problem I have with Linux. Beyond that, Linux is I mean, it's just a footprint. So in Linux, I don't have to do separate instances, guys. Right now, the footprint you're seeing, it's always going to have some tiny little delay in data, right? It's like, I don't know, 200 milliseconds, maybe 400 from my DOM. And that's because it's a sub-instance. So the data comes into the main instance, it feeds it into the sub-instance, and there's a delay. So it's a whole thing. Yeah, it was perfect, Mirren. Sorry, I'm a little late on the comments. But I would much prefer to trade. So on Linux, it's all one instance when I trade there on that operating system, and there's no delay on anything. On Linux, I've got my footprint set to refresh at 20 ms. That's as fast as my DOM, and it keeps up. No lag, no screen lag, no pointer lag, no software lag, no order entry lag, nothing. And I load 700 days of data on my TPO charts with 1, 2, 3 volume profiles per TPO chart, 2 ticks of data on the E-mini, 4 on the NASDAQ. On Windows, I run a separate instance, 16 ticks of data on the NASDAQ on my TPO chart. So I'm essentially, 4 ticks is 1 point, right? 16 divided by 4. So I'm aggregating 4 points on my NASDAQ in data on the weekly TPOs. I'm doing 180 days of data. I'm putting the refresh rates on those types of charts at 2000 milliseconds, which is high. It's above the system standard of 500. So I'm setting them all higher. I'm not using transparency on any chart. It might look like I am, but I'm not. I'm actually not using transparency for anything, even the backgrounds. The backgrounds are non-transparent backgrounds. I just color them according to like charcoals and stuff. That helps with efficiency, right? So I'm doing all the little tricks, sub-instances, everything. Windows is still a turtle. And on Windows, I've optimized the whole operating system to not show fancy windows and, you know, all that stuff. Just everything. Processors, I've set them all higher. I've turned off background. Just Windows is garbage. It's garbage. Mint 20.3 in Linux, snappy. And you'll feel it, right? As soon as you log into the operating system, you'll feel, holy cow, I click a window and it's instantly up. I move my mouse, there's no lag on load with any internal system setting or it's just boom, there. And it's the same thing in Wine with Sierra Chart. Boom, everything happens. The market when it ticks up and down, you see every little tick. Well, not every little tick, right? But you see probably 3 or 4 times as much. So for you order flow traders, it's awesome. So if you don't use a Stream Deck and you're a little tech savvy, you want to use Linux, it's pretty good. But I can do my Stream Deck, I guess. I'm about ready because of the action here on the footprint. I'm about ready to go log into Linux and reconnect the live stream. That's how frustrated I get with Windows. So you see how I disconnected earlier in the stream, Chris? Oh yeah, yeah. I'll probably even delete this one too. We'll see. We'll see. I dox myself at certain points. So I got to be kind of careful when I make mistakes like that. I'm like, these things can't be up in perpetuity. They can't be up forever because I'm just doxing myself. Some sharp person who has nothing better to do than to try and hack me is going to be like, "Oh, I know stuff about him more now. I'm going to go make his life hard." I don't know. There's a lot of losers out there. Got to be careful. That's part of my legacy to dox myself. Pagonzo! Good place for long and NQ. Why would you say that? I think what would be interesting um, here is if we get, here, let's change it to pink. And we have this consolidation, is if we get a recapture here, then it's a good place for a long. Because you have consolidation, you have a false break, then you could target longs here, and then TP1, TP2, and then maybe let a runner go. I don't know. So I think this is a case of, all right, we have a market just kind of meandering down. It needs to make higher highs again, right, above here. And it's not, so I don't know. The volume bars show a nice clear story of consolidation right here and here. So we're starting to head back in. Anyway. Jack Troy says, work for investment bank or open a fund. You're welcome, Paganza. Look at me giving out trading advice. What? Possible. I don't know. We'll see. That would be more my setup. Right now, buyers are not engaged. But in this market, if you see, we go sideways, they build a position, and then it squirts out. So, I don't know. You can take a shot, or you can wait to have all the people that shorted here get underwater. Then you can take a long. To me, that's a little bit better, has a higher probability of success, right? Then you can place your stop somewhere at the bottom of the range, because essentially, here, let's zoom in and discuss it a little more. All right. All right. So we got a range, we got a breakdown. So let's say we come back in, right? And then you take your long here, right? Near the top of the range, or maybe even somewhere in the middle. You could probably place your stop here. So let's just say you're long, well, let's change this to yellow. You're long from this yellow, And then you're looking for take profit at what, 1R maybe here, and then maybe above this high, and then that's resistance up here. So you might get 2 or 3 R's out of that trade. All right, we hit stops on the E-mini. Now let's see if the strong players who do not want to sell with you, who are long potentially from here, start buying. And you're all forced to chase. And then you're up here, you're unsure again. And then we hang out for a bit right in this area. And you're impatient as price squirts up and down. And then maybe they shake you out again, and then they buy again, and you're forced to chase, and then they get into you up here. Get out into you, into resistance. Let's see. Let's see if that's what happens, guys. I think it's a pretty good probability now, because we've gotten a little bit of them. And the NASDAQ is still coming up into resistance. Short-term wick. Let's see. We got a 5-point pullback. Golly, this thing is. It's just such an ugly day. It's just still better than what it could be, guys. Could be a lot worse than this. You guys are still spoiled with high volatility memories. Still fairly high volatility. It's just we are creatures of relative habits, right? What has price done recently in the recent past? And so do you get lulled into expectations of higher volatility, and then when it lowers from that relatively high volatility, do you then get really spoiled? Okay, we have more interesting looking charts here on our TPO now. I do think we're going to go back to 74, 75s eventually, but it's going to be a long process. Long process. Anyway, let's get rid of this. Get back here. Let's go up in top left, right there. Crude. $104 a barrel. You know, I have a hybrid car, and I don't fuel up very often because I just haven't been driving a whole lot. I have a 5-month-old in the house, and so we're home a lot. And everything is close. Grandparents are close. Stores are close. It's just like within a few mile radius of us. So we don't drive that much, so thus we don't use that much gas. I filled up with gas, and it was $6.30, and I just about fell over. I watch crude. I get it. I get it that everyone's complaining about gas prices, but I'm in California, and I just don't fill up my gas very often. So when I saw it, I said, "But WTI is at $98." It's pulling back. It's not affecting gas prices at all. There's usually some sort of lag there that happens, but golly, gas is $6. Back in the day, I remember when gas clearly was 65 cents a gallon. Whew. 10 times the price in what, 30 years? I'm 42 years old, so 30 years? Jeez. Jim Rogers knew. You guys know who Jim Rogers is? If you don't know who Jim Rogers is, Google it. That guy's a legend. Jim Rogers has some interesting things to say about China, Japan, the United States, commodities. Jim Rogers is a billionaire OG trader. that has made a lot of his money trading commodities. Oh, no way, Pagonzo. That is so cool. All the stuff, all the interview. So I've read uh, Jim Rogers' book on one of them on commodities, but I've watched a lot of his interviews, and I think he's an interesting character. Um, Smart, very smart, and I wonder what he looks like now. Because he was getting older, and I know he lives in China, teaches all his kids Mandarin. He's like, that is the language of the future, guys. So you already know what Jim Rogers thinks, right? Oh, that's cool. I thought maybe you met him in person. I'm not much of a person that subscribes to, I don't know, Hollywood culture or like hero culture, hero worship culture. So yeah, I really don't care if you're famous and I meet you. If you're an ass, whatever, or you're a little pompous, I'm like, I don't really care that you're famous. I really don't. Now, if it's the president or something, then it's like, oh, that's cool. Um, but beyond that, I had a signed. I'll bet you I don't have it anymore. I had a signed letter from Ronald Reagan from when I was a kid. That's kind of cool. So I did it early enough in his presidency that he didn't have people sending. I guess he signed some of the things that school children, sent to him, and I did it again because I thought it was so cool. And the second time I did it, I got this kind of official White House response that was, just printed. My parents didn't have enough common sense to tell me that it was really, really important, and so I just played with it. I probably made a paper airplane out of it. I don't remember what I know I don't have it anymore, and I know I got it really dirty, and it lost its it lost its value for me. But I grew up in an extraordinarily religious household where they would have been like, okay, it's kind of interesting that you did that, but we don't want you worshiping this man because he's a politician and he's evil. It was that sort of environment. So, whatever. Not a professional trader, says Alyssa Milano. Is she an actress? Is that who she is? Or is she a singer? Sorry. I don't really follow Hollywood. Actress or singer is my guess. Okay. Brown Dog says TYP. How do you interpret the situation? One side of the bid ask footprint are all zeros, but the other side volume are thin, like 1 to 2 contracts, but it still manages to pull up or down 6 or 8 ticks. Zeros. So when you say zeros, you mean like 100% delta prints? Is that what you mean? And what are you talking about? Are you talking about the NASDAQ? Because, the NASDAQ does leave zero prints, not zero prints, but no contracts traded behind, I think. But I never see it because my NASDAQ is aggregated to 4 ticks on my footprint chart. All right, here we go. Here we go. Oh, okay, cool. Right on. I don't hero worship anybody, but if I did, it would be Carl Sagan. I I'm definitely a humongous Carl Sagan fan. In fact, when we look at that pale blue dot, oh yeah. I even I made a song called The Pale Blue Dot based on um based on that text. Yeah, I'm gonna find it on one of my email addresses. Let's see, it's not TYP. It is. Let's go dox myself again. Watch. Oh shoot. Yeah, opened up a new window. Of course it did. Okay. Let's see. Let's find the text. Oh golly. Ooh, paste documents with Control C, Control V. It's been a while. Okay. Music projects, documents, the pale blue dot. Nope, that's not right. Uh, let's go back. Here's the text. This is Carl Sagan. This of the song. Maybe I'll sing it. It says, "Consider again that dot. That's here. That's home." And then the chorus of the song is, "We live on a pale blue dot." Then he continues, "That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know. Every human being who ever was lived out their lives. The Earth is a very small stage in a vast cosmos. Our planet is a lonely speck in the great universe. In our obscurity, in all this vastness, there is no hint that help will come from elsewhere to save us from ourselves. Earth is the only world known to harbor life. Like it or not, for the moment, the Earth is where we make our stand. Perhaps there is no better demonstration of the folly of human conceits than this distant image of our tiny world. It emphasizes our responsibility to deal more kindly with one another, to preserve and cherish the pale blue dot. Ooh, I got chills, man. Oh, I love Sagan. He's that is an amazing that is an amazing um, observation that he makes about our planet. Anyway, not trying to make this political, religious, or anything like that. Sagan was an astronomer, a scientist, and I was a big fan. And I am a big fan. Meandering up. So this is where you take your long now. Back into this pullback of this candle. Just letting you know. On your beloved Nasdaq. Paganzo says, "This is the signature. Do you read this book? The guy traveled around the world by bike." Paganzo. Paganzo. Um, are you talking about the guy that rode on the Great Wall of China? Is that the same dude? Because Pagonzo, if that is the case, um, I had a picture. I can't remember his name. I don't. Do I may have the picture somewhere. Let me look. Looking on my bookshelf. It might be here somewhere. I had a picture that was signed by that guy, and I can't remember his name. He went. He was a fan of a certain painter. My parents used to own a painting gallery, and he went in there, talked to my mom, and at the time I was a big cyclist, and so he left a picture. He bought a painting, and he 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 signed it and said something about following your dreams, blah 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 blah. It was a nice thing for him to say and do, but apparently he was kind of famous for riding his bike on the Great Wall of China, like the whole distance of it or something, or most of it. I think there's parts where you can't ride. I think there was a little documentary done on him. Oh, you're still talking about Jim Rogers. I thought you shot off to and we're talking about another person now. So Mirren, the painter, was Thomas Kincaid, who is a religious type painter. He's dead now, but yeah. But yeah. Well, I'll avoid all this conversation because I can go on and on and on about it. We'll just say this: sometimes people put up a an image, especially in very religious circles, but how they act around people in the community is very different than how they act in their personal lives with goyim, right? All the Gentiles. I'm not a Jew. They're not Jews, but it's kind of the same idea. They used to think of everybody as others. All a bunch of everybody else was impure, unclean, blah blah blah. Yet they did a lot of the same things that these other people did. Really, it's just a bloodline type thing. Um. Anyway, what are you gonna do? Hanging around the TPOC right now, which is right here at 67, 68. Brief foray into 72, where we had some ice and some algorithmic selling up there short term. You can see that the big ice up there, or the big deltas, 342 of what is it? 396. So very high delta. As a percentage, we're talking about 85% delta up there at the top at 72. So someone was happy to deleverage here in this choppy market because it didn't move fast enough for them. Anyway, an incomplete auction down here at the bottom. There we go. Completed. Back up or what? Let's see. Oh, look at him run the stops. Look at that. Look at that. A bunch of Andre, what perfect timing. Oh, Mirren. Yeah, I did break away from religion. Yeah, I did. I'm not a religious person anymore at all. Open, open to experiences and notice I say I'm open to experience, but I'm not really open to the apologetical side, right? Right. The rational arguments for religion. That it's kind of like if I tell my child, hey, I'm your father and I exist. And I code it in some obscure thing. And he has to figure out this code. And maybe he misinterprets the cipher a little bit. So he gets some of it wrong, and then he finally figures out one day, wait a second, I think in this code, I have this code's telling me I have a father and he loves me. But meanwhile, I exist. And I can get in my car and I can go visit him, but I don't, right? I just keep sending these obscure messages in various forms by random texts or whatever, books. I put him in libraries that I know he's going to frequent. Now, if I'm a loving father and I'm not an ass, what do I do? Right? I tell him in these letters, I want you to get to know me. I want you to love me. But you what you need to do is really search and seek for me. Right? You need to seek me out. So I tell him all these things. And meanwhile, let's just say he's not that smart. Right? And I'm a lot smarter. And I know ultimately he'll never figure it out. But I tell him that's part of your mission. I want you to be close to me. I want you to have intimacy with me. Right? I want to get to know you. I want to take you to the park. I want to talk with you. I want to make you feel good. I want to hug you. Meanwhile, I live somewhere in my mansion and I never go visit him. Would you say I'm an asshole as a person? Well, that's what a lot of religions do, in my opinion, right? So what I'm getting at with religion is I'm open to experience. If there's some Allah or the God of Mormon or the Christian God or Buddha or whatever wants to come down and say, Mike, I know you're a decent person, and look, I want you to get to know me because I'm a lot smarter than you are. Come shake my hand, give me a hug. You want to be my father or mother? Then prove it to me. So open to religion on experience, not on argumentation, because I used to read encyclopedias on religious dogmas to try and prove or disprove. I spent about 6 years of my life compiling libraries, going to bookstores, going to universities, talking with professors about all of this stuff, arguing the God perspective, blah, 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 blah. So I know I'm very well versed in arguing religion from attempting to argue it from a rational perspective. Experientially, though, um, a lot of the experiences I think that are common to many religions can be experienced um, in religion or outside of religion, right? And I know some people will say that I've had prayers or different things answered without a shadow of a doubt. Um, and for that person, I say great, great. No knock on that. Um, if only everyone else could have the same experience, right? And that includes the the hunters and gatherers in New Guinea, um, and the person growing up in the Middle East that maybe doesn't have exposure to your particular flavor of religion, right? That isn't taught that way to think about experience, right? And so anyway, I I hope that answers your question, Mira. How big is that order on the E-mini down there? Let's see. 59s. 1,078. Back to the footprint. So I'm looking at 1,078 down here. 1,090 at 5950. So what that is, if you look at the MBO, it's two 500 lots sitting here. But there's 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, 500, all sitting down here. Yeah, Halo Wars. Yeah, this is a whole lot of chop here. Runvald C Q says, if you don't mind, can you switch while you are trading on the same chart between mini and micro lots? Yeah, you can. So, Runvald, the way you do that, yeah, it does look prescient for now, and it happens to be right on. I mean, it's not a perfectly drawn line, Andre, but it happens to be right on POC too. I think it's going to pop to the downside. I'm always a fan of these things failing rather than holding on 3 taps. And we're at 3 taps. Now, does it go down or up first? We'll see. I think it's going to pop. So here's how you do it. Runvald CQ. You go into chart settings. Can you see that okay? Yeah, you should be able to see it. So you go into your symbol up here on the top left. You guys should be able to see it, right? I have that. I put this yellow halo, which, by the way, is just it's an auto hotkey script. That's all it is. And so it's always there as long as that script is running. So it's always focused around the cursor. So even if the cursor changes to something else, it's there. So it's nice. Anyway, you can adjust that script, the transparency and the circle size. It's really nice. Anyway, here we go. We're going to pop it. So you go up here and you see trade and current quote symbol. So you would just type in f.us.mesu22, the symbol that you want to trade, and then click yes. See that? And you hit apply. And now this will show you, we'll load it. You see how this chart up here shows so it shows EPU22 and then it shows MSU. So essentially it's showing you data for the E-mini, but it's executing on MES on this chart. So let's say you have a separate instance. Let's say you're in Windows, you're like, Windows performance sucks, so I have to have multiple instances, like me. So I have multiple instances. I got to go do the same thing if I want to go execute on MES. So right now, if I have an ES DOM, the orders aren't going to show up on this chart. I have to set up my DOM the same way. Right? So each chart has to have that setting turned on. Otherwise, let's say you have an ES DOM, it's going to execute on the ES on that DOM. It's not going to show you the ES orders on this chart. Does that make sense? So like right now, here I'll turn on my orders. I have an order in on the E-mini at 5825. You guys can't see it. Okay, we'll cancel that. If I go to chart settings on my trade DOM. Okay, this is my trade DOM. All right, here's my trade DOM. Okay, you can see an update interval in milliseconds is 20. So I go here. This is my trade DOM. Yeah, MESU 22. Hit yes, apply. Now, if I enter an order, you see it right here. Now, this looks like the ES DOM, doesn't it? Right? This is ES data. It still shows you the 500 lots. That is on the MES book. See that? So whatever. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, Runvald, I mean, I don't know. We just popped this trend line to the downside. Let's see if we get follow through. All those 500 lots there. Woo! Just below us. Woo! Someone's going to have to take some initiative, guys. What time is it? 12 o'clock? Power hour. We have a failure right back into the pennant. We have a poor low on, let's see. There we go. Go get them. Go get them, buddies. Dang it! I'm not on the E-minis. Golly! All right, let's. All right, now I'm on the E-minis. Bastards. It's okay, Runvald. Yeah, Mark. Super cool. It's if I'm gonna trade micros, that's all I'm gonna do because I don't care about the micro data. I don't. They filled all those lots. Woo! Woo! Let's see if they fight back. Let's see if they fight back. Those are some players down there. Woo, woo, woo. All right, let's go. I'm a little short. I think we're going down, but we'll see. Nothing like pure delta. Go hit bids. Come on now. The battle is on. Let's go. Let's go. At least go to 56. At least. Maybe 55 value area low. Let's go. Let's go. Pop it like it's hot. 57.25. You stand no chance. Let's go. Come on now. Come on. Woo. Negative 3,000 tick in we go. And the market keeps falling. And I'm getting paid. Let's go. Yeah. Woo. Out 3/4 position. Let's go. Come on. 55. Let's go. Come on. Come to Papa. Come to Papa. All right, flat. Yeah, buddy. I should be targeting that poor low, huh? Man. It's just so sweet when you get the initiative, though. You get in, you get out for the quick hit. It's just a high probability, isn't it? Order flow comes in. They start smashing bids. You get on the right side. You go with it. Oh, that poor low's looking good. 1,368 negative delta down at the bottom. Iceberg right at the bottom at 51.25. Let's smash it. All those 500 lots. Oh, we got iceberg right here. Ice, ice, baby. 729 lots at 55 flat. Someone wants to cover, get a little long. 742 lots, short term. We're seeing it on RBV right here. See it? 755, you see that? RBV. Recent bid volume. This has got a 30-second reset. Yeah, I don't want to play here. Someone way beyond my pay grade is playing. Nope. I think we're going to go test the upside here. It might have been all covers up there, those 500s. Who knows? But I ain't playing against you. We filled all you purple mofos here. That was just a big area of liquidity. No thanks. Yes, initiative players, but short term, we might see a bounce from hell. Good luck. Good luck out there. I think we got our initiative selling here. We went towards liquidity. We pushed down a little bit. Short-term exhaustion. We'll see. Hey, thanks, Runvald. See, yeah, they're all recorded. I mean, I got a ton of all recorded live stuff up, and I was doing it every day for like 3 weeks. And I'll be honest, I got YouTube. I got YouTube fatigue. Big time. Like big time YouTube fatigue. I was just done. It happens. It's a real thing. YouTube. Poor low. Well, you got to realize I'm aggregating this TPO chart, so it's essentially a poor low. But I'm not aggregating it. Poor low is at 51, 75, 51.50, 51.25, I guess. I'd rather say 51.50 because that sounds crazy. That's going to be lost on some of you. Here, we'll go look at it on the E-mini chart here. Whoop, there it is. Let me hear you say whoop, there it is. See it down here? Right there. Right there. My poor low settings are 2 ticks, not 1. Doesn't have to be perfect. So let's break this thing out. Letters, blocks, and own call. See that? Poor low. Oh, trading is exciting, guys. Come on. Let me hear you say whoop. There it is. Jack Troy, no, I did not. Yeah, Davidis Navikas from Greece, maybe? Yeah, it should test it at some point. But these poor lows often, so a lot of market profile traders now, they want to target these poor lows, or they have been. When we get close to them, they target them to break. And a lot of these poor lows have been breaking not the same day, but like in subsequent days. That has just been the pattern as of late. It is what it is. So if you're targeting it today, just based off the meme poor low, then it can get a little painful. Anyway, a lot of volume built here. So if we build a bunch of volume down here, right here, and we go sideways, then we break up, it's going to go a big distance either direction. So as traders, sitting on our hands, really, you should be rooting for lots of volume here. Because that's going to produce offsides players for whichever side wins. So the longs win, the shorts are going to have to cover. The shorts win, the longs are going to puke it. So in other words, we're going to get movement. So you're going to get decent risk reward out of high volume. And this 5-minute bar's got some volume on it. You see how down here this is a darker green background? See that? Well, it's 26,000 contracts in this puke. Right? And then we have another, so 26,000 contracts in this puke. Now we have ice here. We've got more green on the volume profile, high volume relative to comparing to the rest of the session's 5-minute bars. So, and that coloring is relative to the whole session on the volume profile. So this volume, right side of the footprint, where it's green, that coloring is whole session In other words, RTH open to now, it's whole session comparative. However, the width of the actual bars, the volume profile, is comparative to what is visible on this screen. So there's that difference, and Sierra chart does not allow us to compare the width of this volume to the whole session. That would be useful because what it would do is I could then zoom out on this chart like this. We'll cover the whole thing. Wait, do you guys see it? No, you don't, because I'm on the email. All right, sorry. Here I am talking about this. I'll restate everything I just said. Yeah, Diro, how he trades. It's you got to understand your own setting. So in other words, this bar here, and I've been talking about this not knowing it was up on the screen, so apologies. What happens when you have like a gazillion different scenes in OBS and you're dumb like me? Okay, so this is 26,000 contracts, right, into the zone. You see how this background is? So first of all, the volume per second is high, which you would expect in a higher volume bar, 26,000 contracts. So that alerts me on the footprint. Hey, there's interest to sell this area. Then the next bar, you run into ice here at the bottom. And what I was pointing out is in this footprint, here, in this footprint, we're looking at this one, this right side is a volume profile. Ice still at the bottom there, by the way. There's ice right here. And they broke it. Nope, not yet. Refilling, refilling, refilling. All the short-term shorts are like, what the heck's happening? I just loaded in there. Oh no! Anyway, so this volume profile here, see how it's like really bright green? That the color of that bright green is relative to the whole session start. So RTH session. However, the width of the bars themselves, so in other words, the width from here to here, is based on everything that's comparing everything that's visible on this chart to here. Sierra chart does not give us a way on the footprint to compare the width of the volume bars to the whole session, but the coloring is according to the whole session. So in other words, there's a difference. The coloring here is according to the session, the green, but the width of the bars is according to what's seen visibly. So there's an inconsistency there that's naturally sort of built in to the number bars that you can't get around. So you have to know that. So when I'm looking at this green, I'm going, yeah, that's pretty high volume for the whole session. But then this volume width, I'm going, well, the volume width compared to whatever else is on my screen is pretty high, or it's kind of close, or whatever. And I just know that there's that difference. So just an FYI. That's what I was talking about. All right, let's go up here. Yeah, good to know why your or good to know how your indicators are actually built and know the settings. So if you don't, you're going to be, that's all going to be lost on you. Oh. Okay. You know what sucks like, so let's take out the hindsight trading for a sec here. We shorted here at 82.25, right there. Oh, we shorted right here because of this. All this later. Hindsight king up in here. Well, I mean, I'm on a 49-inch screen up here, and this screen is about 29 inches from my special glasses. So my glasses are manufactured from a lens that has a different thickness, and the thickness is relative to the distance of my screens curving around my whole head. What? Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty cool. So all I got to do is turn my head and look out of the corner of my eye just a little bit. And on the right side of my glasses, for example, I have a 27-inch monitor that's about 34, 35 inches away. The thicknesses of my lenses are a little bit different there. So I rarely have to even move my head. I only have to move my head a tiny amount. And I just move my eyes. You get used to it when you wear the glasses, but for somebody that first wears them, they're like, what? These are weird. So everything on every screen, down to the tiniest fonts, are stupidly clear to me. And my eyes don't have to strain whatsoever. Big ice down there, huh? Big ice. 55, still ice. Ice, ice, baby. There it goes. They poured into it. Did you guys see it? They just poured into it. Let's see what's below, they said. Hmm. Technical Trader says, picture please. It's on Twitter somewhere. Of my glasses? You want pictures of my glasses? You're not going to be able to see the thickness differences, but they're Ray-Bans with a carbon fiber frame. They're kind of cool. They're really light. They're really, really light. I can barely feel them on my nose. It's just the lenses that weigh something. So I don't necessarily need reading glasses. Then they also have a blue light filter, because blue light filters can kind of mess with your circadian rhythms and stuff. Known to not be great for you as a professional, being in front of a computer all day long. Which is why, I don't know if you guys remember, I put up a picture of myself on my Twitter handle, and the reflection in the lens was purple. That's because when light hits it on the lens at a certain so kind of ultra focuses, it turns purple. Anyway, I look like a nerd when I'm trading. Yeah, technically you need to get measured for it. Essentially what you got to do is you have to draw them a diagram of how you work at your desk. So what I did was I drew a diagram of, or sketched it. Like, here's my monitors, here's where my head is. This is the distance from my eyes to the monitor, and I had to measure it like every 10 inches. And then they would then manufacture the lens for that thickness, assuming that I stay in one spot. So as I slightly turn my head, the lens, I'm looking left into the lens, it's slightly thicker and more magnified so that I can see things. So in other words, I want to see more data on my screen, which is why I do these small fonts that you guys can't see, but it works for me so I can see much more on all my screens. And it's, again, it's super, super, super clear for me. Like, stupidly, it's like I'm looking at the numbers. I can see the little, you know how the zeros have a diagonal slash through them? Well, I can see those slashes where they kind of pixelate and attach to the numbers. It's pretty cool. And it's not super magnified. It's not. Like, no, it's not really that magnified. So, like, when I look above, it's just a perfect prescription. So, like, with these lenses on, I have 2015. I wish it was 2010. Honestly, it might be 2010 vision because I have high DPI in my eyes. I don't have good vision. I have high. I have a lot of what is it? Cones and rods in my eyes. I have a high number of them. I still had astigmatism in the past before I got LASIK and all that, but so, but it just means that I can see. If you magnify things on my eyes, I could see a fairly good resolution. It's like I see in 1080p or maybe 4K. I see in 4K resolution. You're like, that's so cool. No, it's not. I could talk about that. It is not cool because I can see. Oh, this is going to trip you guys out. I can see the vasculature of my own eyeball. What? Yep. If you put a bright, if I look at the sky and it's bright and it's kind of whitish, I can see my veins in my vision. I can see the vasculature of my own eyeball. It is a trip, and I've been able to see that since I was very, very little. So that high DPI allows me, when I'm zoomed in on my own eyeball, because of the way that the vasculature on your eye sits, I can see my own vasculature. It's not. I mean, your brain does a whole thing where it tries to ignore it most of the time, but if I get aware of it, it trips me out. What? Yeah, that's what it is. It is what it is. My uh, ophthalmologist was like, "Really, Mike?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay, what's up here located at this upper quartile quadrant?" And I said, "You have a vein that goes this way and Y's off, and then the one that goes straight up to the top." He's like, "Wow, that's incredible." He's like, "Well, that's the cones and rods that I talk about in your eye. You have a lot of them. You have much more than the average person. Just see, it means you see in high resolution when your vision is corrected." So now we just have the problem of getting your vision, 2020, 2015. So I see 2015 charts pretty easy because, again, if you just magnify it on my eyes, I could see all that. So anyway, long story, just to say, I see everything clearly on my monitors. Appraiser, it's annoying, is what it is. Because if you get something floating in your bloodstream, in your eye, and you can see that, whether it's cholesterol or something like that, then you see it actually float by and you might think it's a really tiny bug. And I do see stuff like that. And so it's incredibly distracting, especially when let's say you're driving or you're wanting to look at a sunset where light conditions are just so. Instead, I see all this vasculature if I focus on it, and I don't like that. It's kind of like spider webbing in a way. Yeah, vitreous floaters. That's it. I get those too. And when I sneeze a certain time, sometimes I get the arches, right? I think they're called vitreous floaters, but it's almost like a fireworks show. The first time that happened to me, I don't know. I actually thought I was having a religious experience. I'm like, am I about to see angels or something? Trade and sale, Rainer. I would have figured it out because of trade and sale. I like it. I feel very human after walking on this treadmill for 2 hours. Although today I feel great. Um, what screen am I on here? Uh, all right. So many buttons. I'm gonna get faster at all this, guys. Because I've got my K95 Corsair keyboard working much better again. All my G keys are all set up with shortcut keys and whatnot. Um, I'm using shortcut keys for everything almost. And so instead of clicking on screens and stuff, and I got my Stream Deck all set up again, I've added more screens. So I'm trying to use the shortcut keys where it makes sense to do stuff, but it kind of makes, I have to think about it a little bit. What an interesting spot, guys. What an interesting spot. I actually want to get a little short here for a test of these lows. I think we're going towards this lower liquidity. Hmm. Come on. There you go. Yeah, Praiser guy. Yeah, I mean, you see on this footprint chart how this delta down here is extending. So this area here is just it's a high delta extension that hasn't been touched, right? So that's what this is. This is slight red all the way through here. And it's, I mean, we know what it is. It's 1368 deltas, bid volume deltas, right? So in other words, sellers didn't get anywhere on this, thus creating the poor low, right? That's vicious. If you look at it, I mean, we had big bounces, 10, 12 points off of just a tick or two above here. And then we came all the way down, and then they iced it up. And then we bounced. And we've now gone, what? 30 points up and come back to it. I don't know. It may not break today because of all the preceding price action. It's a tough one, guys. This is not. This today. You may have a few levels where you can take, essentially, take trades today, but sometimes you gotta just be wise and sit the f out. Gosh, I like to curse like a sailor. You guys don't know. I love to curse. With my prior religious background, I never used to curse. So then when I became sort of a religious, I don't want to say atheist because I'm not really an atheist. Kind of more agnostic. Kind of like I don't know. I'm open to whatever. I'm open to experience, right? So when I became a religious without religion, I was like, you mean I can curse and not feel bad about it now? And I just went ham. And I've been not religious for coming up on a while here in my life, 17, 18 years, something like that. Been a while. It's been a while. Um, and so I've gotten better at cursing, and so has my wife. Now we have kids; they're gonna go to school. We don't want them to offend all their peers, so now we've really toned it down around the house. We live in an area of California. There's a lot of religious people, a lot. So little Ben's got to make friends. Oh man. Yeah, buddy. Have you covered any Rainer? Trade and curse. Oh, you. Yeah, I'm trying hard not to do a whole lot of cursing. Uh, I don't know. I've had people complain to me, so people whom I like and respect. So whatever. It's all good. I'll accommodate. So I'll say things like ish instead of shit, and then f them instead of the whole thing. And I'll say son of a beeswax or something. Beeswax, beeswax, something like that. All right, curling up. Yeah, Anton. Uh, I know you're here not for the religious talk. I know. Anton's like, keep it out of your mouth, son. I got you, buddy. I catch your drift, essay. Uh, Zero. I feel like I've used Bookmap. But no, I never have. Um, Ticino Trader has configured some charts to be really similar to Bookmap. So on the left screen, I see someone has already typed or responded, and on the right screen where I have my OBS, it took 3 seconds for the chat to show up in OBS. So not only is there a 7 second delay from me to you guys, there's also a 3 second delay from chat into OBS. So like 10, 11, 12 seconds. Oh yeah, I love it, Rainer. Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, so anyway, I was going to say Ticino Trader has done a Bookmap chart book, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see if I can find it. Let's take a look. Do you see how relaxing this is, guys? Yeah, take a few trades. What we got in from we got in from in this area here, the 59s, and we got out into the 56s. So that was cool. We got in from 82s, got out some 78, 79s, stopped the rest. That was painful, but hindsight. Stopped the rest minus 2 ticks. Some other trades. But 2 trades taken on YouTube, and I talked about them. And we get to talk about all this other stuff as well. And we get to talk about markets a little bit. And we have Rainer Blanky in the room. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this. Anyway, I'm gonna look for Ticino Trader's bookmap style. I'm gonna see Ticino. Is it Ticino or Ticino? I think it's Ticino. Ticino Trader. I don't log into his site very much, guys. You know what I did do? I logged in and I watched one of his. I think it's level 2. Um, where he does. Oh, what is that? Where you connect. What is that? What is that called? Where you connect to other people through? It's not Skype. It's something else. It's a bookmap to Chino Trader. I found it. What is it called? What is it called? I can't remember. Anyway, Because I've watched almost all of his YouTube videos. Sierra chart. There we go. And he does the text instructions on his YouTube videos. I thought, what if he doesn't talk much? And so I went in there on those level 2, what is it called? Team viewer? No. No, no, no. What's it called? I mean, there's even a stock um, that's where you connect to other people through. I haven't eaten today. Maybe I need to eat, but it's a fasting day. You know what I need to do is I need to drink water. He did speak in his videos. That's all I waited for, is to hear his voice. And I got Zoom. Yes, Mirren, thank you very much. And I was so happy. I don't know. I had this idea that Ticino never talks. Um, and I was like, I listened to him for a little bit. And I was like, he does talk. I don't know. I guess I'm. It was just a. That's it. That's the only thing I watched, was like a brief video to see that he talks, and then I log back off. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've logged in. He probably has a bunch of cool stuff. I'm gonna have to go log in. You know, when you build your own chart books, you don't have a lot of need, and when you feel like you have everything you want, you don't always have a lot of need to go get it from other people. But I'm there. I have the access. And I for you people that know less about how to build stuff in Sierra Chart, it's the best deal on the great interweb. €4 a month to get all of his amazingly built chart books that will just work. Come on. You know, he does all the graphic settings for each chart book so it looks beautiful. That's amazing. You know how much work that is per chart book? That is a lot of work, guys. That is a lot of coloring. All right, that is a lot of making things look a certain way. That is valuable. And he knows the settings, he knows how to build stuff and make Sierra Chart sing. Go subscribe, €4 a month. Your Sierra Chart will start looking awesome. TPO charts, correlation coefficient charts, comparison chart, currency comparison charts, right? Spread charts, TPO charts, footprint charts, some really cool iceberg detection charts, bookmap style charts, jigsaw style DOMs with the localized. I'm pretty sure he even does the settings. Do you guys realize how amazing that is for €4? And you guys are all paying for all this other stuff? Sierra Chart mainly does all this stuff. I do videos on all that, but why? Go pay the man. He's already done them. So I try to do videos for charts and chart books that have nothing to, that have never been done by Ticino, and they're all my own ideas. I don't try to share any of what I've learned from Ticino directly. You know, indirectly, you learn how to use the software program from legends like him. But so there's that. You know, one could make the argument that almost everything I know about Sierra Chart is because of Ticino Trader, and they wouldn't be far off, right? But some of you have learned Sierra Chart from me, and I'm not asking you for you to mention my name for the rest of your trading career. No, no, absolutely not. Yeah, JT, the chart books do not. They work. So they're not. Yeah, some of it. His level 3 stuff where he does Ticino math, which yeah, that is you know, custom. You know, it's his whole playbook, right? Um, He's been trading a long time successfully, and he sells courses and all of that, right? And so he's got custom studies to go along with his whole playbook. But his chart books, no. And I think he should. I think it should be €4 or €8. I actually think so. Here's a story about this. When I first signed up to Sierra Chart in 2020, it was late February or May or March, I mean, of 2020, or early March, something like that. That's when I first signed up to. Well, no, it's not the first time I signed up to Sierra Chart. I signed up when I was trading crypto heavy in 2017, and I saw the menus and everything, and I said, "This is too much. Forget this. I don't want to spend the next 2 months learning this while these crypto markets are popping." So I said, "No, not doing this." So then I came back to it in 2020. When I first signed up, I was overwhelmed, and so I found Ticino Traders YouTube, and then because of that, I found his website, and I looked at what he was charging, and I think at the time it was, I don't know, $4 or $5 per month. I was like, this is too cheap. That's what I thought. I said, this is too cheap. It must be garbage. That's what I thought. Okay, I'm being 100% honest. It's not garbage. I said, this is too cheap. It must not be very valuable. This must be stuff that everybody does. And I'm getting run-of-the-mill stuff. That's what I think is happening here. I don't want to do that. Then I kept perusing, kept looking at it, asked other traders. They were like, no, his stuff is good. I'm like, why is it so cheap? They're like, I don't know. So anyway, it probably took me a few weeks of feeling comfortable to even pay for the $4 or $5. I thought, is this a hacker? Is he trying to steal my money? Because it was so inexpensive. Now, here it is a few years later, and I now recognize that he's not only an upstanding individual, he runs a super professional site, offers tons of value and all his chart books can be distributed to other people once you log in. Now, I don't like that because I think that undermines all his hard work. So I had a big aversion to even signing up to the service because of that. I thought it was too cheap. I thought there's no way there could be value. No, the guy knows Sierra Chart, and he builds stuff that is. So let's say I shared a chart book with you guys, right? Let's just say I'm gonna give you an example between me and Ticino Trader. Let's say I build a chart book, and you guys are like, Mike, share my HUD. Share your HUD with me. You're like, what? What are you talking about, HUD? Okay, let's. So first, let me go into. So hold on. All right. Let me go into this HUD. All right. So let's say I share my chart book HUD with you guys, right? The difference between me and Ticino Trader is if I shared this chart book HUD with you, all these settings would rely on my global graphic settings. I wouldn't care about the efficiencies of the HUD for your guys' sake. I wouldn't care that some of the settings here make sense because I've got other certain charts that work for me. I wouldn't care that the control bar has certain buttons that make sense for me, and I would never answer any questions about any of it if I distributed it. And I wouldn't think about it for your guys' sake because it would be too much. When Ticino shares a chart book, he thinks about all of those things for you. The efficiency of the chart book, the settings, is there a more efficient way to do it? to load the data, what type of continuous futures contract to load into that, localizes all the settings for the graphics so that it doesn't get completely messed up, right? You can revert back to the local graphic settings. All that stuff he thinks about. I don't do that. So for him to only charge €4, it's just it actually was a humongous obstacle that I had to overcome. It was too cheap. And I told my wife at the time, I said, I'm really nervous giving this guy my credit card, and it was through Patreon at the time. Um, I'm really nervous giving this guy my credit card through Patreon. Didn't even know what Patreon was then, right? I'm a little slow on these kind of things. Murder algo, 3 minutes. That's cool. Um, I'm a little nervous to give this guy my credit card because he should be charging like 25 or $50. If it was that, I would have immediately felt comfortable. Most people charge for chart books that he makes. Most people charge $100 a month, and it's like a DLL type thing, meaning you don't have access to the standalone chart book. And people happily pay it because they think they're getting value because they're getting charged more. So anyway, you heard it here from somebody who had lots of concerns. It's a ridiculous deal. Yeah, Mike Muller. I mean, it's what a lot of people do. What I wouldn't do, Mike, is distribute what you've downloaded because you're essentially it's more like so are any of you guys familiar with the food culture in like Oregon, Portland, right? There are places that will make food, set it out, and then it's a sort of like what do you think it's worth type thing, right? You come in, you take all the pies, no one's going to stop you, and you pay them nothing. You are just an absolute a-hole, especially if you distribute them all to your friends who are all making money. So do the right thing. That's it. Pay it forward. That's it. I mean, now, if you're not making any money trading futures and you can't afford the $5 per month or $6 per month, then okay, I get it. But don't distribute it. Don't be that jerk. Anyway, and there's a lot of people that have contacted. So I used to run a Discord, and I actually turned off my DMs on Discord, except for people that were I was friended with, because I got so many people contacting me to say I have this chart book from. Here we go. They broke that low, no problem. I have this chart book. Oh man, I have this hacked chart book from X person, right? And it would be there was all kinds of stuff that was hacked, right? And shared between people. I mean all kinds of stuff. You guys would be like, how the heck? I thought that stuff was protected. People will copy stuff and distribute it like it's currency. There were so many people trying to bribe their way into our contributors group by DMing me that I shut it all down. I shut all the DMs down. So you could never DM me on Discord, even if you were part of my Discord server. You had to publicly ask me something. It was for that reason. So I only had like 15 to 20 actually friended people out of, I don't know, 12, 13, 14, 1,500 people on the Discord. For that reason, it got out of hand. So it is shameful what people do. So if you're a vendor and you're logged in here, be careful about what you share because people will use your stuff as currency. And before you know it, all your stuff will be disseminated to the masses and nobody will be subscribing to you anymore. People are filthy. They have got no shame. None. Like, how do you really feel, Mike? Oh, I'm just getting started. Anyway, Ticino Trader has a tag book map, so you guys can see all his stuff on his website. He's super organized like that. There it is. So lots of charts, kind of cool. So we broke that big delta. Here we are going into the close. HUD up on the screen. Nicey. NQAMX tick. Negatives 1,500. We've got broad selling participation here near the close. The nicey tick. Roughly flat. See how the nicey tick roughly flat? See how the nicey NQAMX tick gives you more of a signal about the coming selling? Yes, it does. Now the nicey tick starts to catch up. Nicey tick flat. Nicey tick positive. The vast majority of all these other stocks. Anyway, I like using the nicey, the NQ nicey Amex tick. It's this one here. All right. Back to what? Footprint? Okay. Right footprint. I guess we don't have a poor low anymore, huh? But in a way, we have all that ice down there. 20, what is it? 2,800 lots. I mean, that's not all one player, guys. Come on. How many people scalp with ice? As soon as they get iceberg detection on Bookmap or whatever your software is, it's like the bid is not big, the MBO reload is small, and the lots are just absolutely increasing. And then boom, that sets off my C++ code, and boom, iceberg, right? And their program goes by. And then they scalp it for 4 ticks every time, or 3 ticks, or 2 ticks. There's people who do that. So it's not just one player for 20 something hundred, 2,800, 2,600 lots. 2,692, I guess it was. Another 900, another 1,400 in short order. You see that? Right there. Short into the hole. I still think it's going to pop, but I think we're going to break that low. But with 5 minutes left to go in the close, on a day where the market's just meandering, it is pretty funny to see. I'm not going to take a bet. Oh man. This is actually where I would like to take a short because I think you can put your stop 56.5 and then target the lows. So decent risk reward. JT says, "Did you manage to recover from the other day? Was I sick, JT? Is that what happened? Is that what he's asking about? Me being sick?" I don't know what he's talking about. I hope he's not talking about me having a losing um, day on stream. Or was it lack of sleep? Oh, there's a delay. So let's let him explain. Let's. Oh, I explained it. I explained exactly what happened. But I don't want to brag. No, it's okay. No worries. I'm not. It's funny when I share positions, people think that they have an idea of what I'm doing. Um, they just project it out, and they'd rather follow that story um, than analyze the markets every single day. And I think it's more important to just analyze the markets every day rather than focusing on whether I eventually had a winner or a loser. Who cares? Who cares? I mean, in if I'm taking a day trade, then you have to call it for what it is, which is, boy, you didn't trade that well at all, and I own that. Um, that's just what it is. No, I shared it on a stream that I did the other day, where I ended up doxing myself once again. Might have been on Friday, I think, where I hung out for a while after the market closed. There was doxing that went on. Oh no, it's all good, Diro. It's not a big deal. Anybody who thinks, all right, here comes settlement. Here comes the settlement print. Let's zoom in. There's going to be a trade here today, I think. There it is. Ba-ba-da-da, settlement. A little below us here. Into the 55s. 7 seconds. Higher. A little higher. Come on. All right. Back to Settlemente. Let's go. So settlement is a little below us here at 56. Well, we'll go 57s. Come on. There you go. Ba, ba, ba. Gusa says, too many buyers on the E-mini. Okay, Gusa. Here we go. Come on. Come back to Papa. Rainer, there's too much delay. I'm already ahead of you, brother. Yeah. Come to Papa. Come to Papa. Settlemente is 57th. Come to me. Come to me. As Gusa says, too many buyers. Okay, Gusa. Come to Papa. Come to Papa. Let's go. Sorry, I'm not looking at the screen anymore. I'm looking at my Dom. All kinds of Dom action. Oh, don't you love it when the algos turn on like this? Everybody gets scared. Algos, go. No, no, no. Little 50 lot at 59. Come on. Settlement 57. Liquidity waiting below 57. Gusa, Gusa, you may be right. Who knows? What's up, Chirp Toad? Don't forget VWAP. Um, you know, I have VWAP at 64 and a quarter, 65 maybe. Yeah, 64 and a half is where I have VWAP. You know, I'm actually doing 400 on the Nasdaq here. Let's see, what am I showing up here? Okay, that's good. You ready for the retrace bar? We'll see. You know what's interesting is the settlement play has not been working out so well the last maybe 3 sessions. It'll drift away from settle and then just stay there. So you know what's interesting about that is that if too many people start to play the settlement game, they'll change because they don't want the pleblitos playing the game. So we kind of we watch that. Me, myself, and I. Trade and sale, short 59.50. That sounds crazy. All right, I'm a little short here, 62s. Let's see if we get the stop run up here. We're going to wait a little higher. Dearo, this is a competition. Don't forget that. If you thought that trading was all about kumbaya, let's hold hands and make money together, um, there are people that want to take your money, son. That is the way it works. Unfortunately, this is not a simulation. We all don't get to make money. Let's go. They found the liquidity. You guys must think I eat a lot of steak. I'm having steak again tonight. The ribeye have been salted as of early this morning, so they're not going to get a full 24-hour marinate. And the salt gets absorbed into the meat. It tastes better. It also breaks it down a little bit, and it'll be a lot softer. It's amazing what like an 8 hour plus. Um, it's not a salt bath, just a coating of salt and rubbing it in. Just let it do its magic. Incredible. That's right, trade and sale. We're all part of the food chain. Right now, those of you who are long from 62 are part of my food chain. We'll see. There's always a bigger whale out there. I should say bigger fish, right? I'm a little goldfish, a minnow. Try to pay me. We'll see. I think the liquidity sitting at 61 when it folds. It's going to fold fast. We'll see. Like, why do you think that? So Diro, I'm a medium rare guy. On the grill, I want the inside of the meat to be, when I pull it off, around 122 to 125 degrees Fahrenheit. And then I let it rest for at least 8 to 10 minutes, at least. And it cooks a little more. But my son is more of a medium guy. Um, so they get cooked a little bit differently. 130 to 135. And then it cooks, excuse me. Then it cooks a little more. My wife, 127 to 130. There they go. Smack them. Smack them at 62 and a half. 228 lots. Snatched. Value. Now drive it back. Drive it back to value. POC. What is POC? Settlemente. What's settlemente? It's settlement. 35,823 contracts transacted in 30 seconds at 56.75 on the E-mini today at the close. A lot can happen. What a day. Man, what an ugly, ugly day to trade today. Maybe not for some of you. Maybe some of you caught the 82 short and held it into the close like geez for 30 points, but not I. Not I. Oh, yeah. Well, a lot of those juices are just myoglobin, right? It's just the redness of the muscle. It's not necessarily blood. So you shouldn't worry about the pinkness, my friend. People have the wrong idea about that. Like, I'm eating blood because it's pink. No, 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 no. That's just myoglobin. You get past a certain temperature, then it starts to turn brown. That's overcooked. See, I say it like it's law. I have strong opinions about how my steak is cooked. Anyway, today's a another fasting day. God, I ate so good last night though. Anyway, so I'll be having, let's see, steak, tomatoes, cucumbers, and some fruit. That's it. Be nice and clean. Super clean. Super clean dinner. Ha. Maybe. Except it's not blood. It's not. Oh, well, they're going to take this market higher, aren't they? What is that blue line? Oh, that blue line is interesting. Up on the, where does that emanate from? Where does that emanate from? Is that, so it's a positive delta from here. Oh, interesting. So that doesn't really matter so much. It mattered early in the session, right? Being right off that big positive delta, big move down. But then once we cracked it, we just, you know, eventually just said, sayonara. All right. Is that the stop run here above 63? So the 64 and a half is the VWAP, the one that matters to me. Anyway, I think I'm going to end this. Everybody's, it's all just Dero. It's all just Dero here. Have a good evening, folks. Thanks for dropping in. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit it on your way out. I would appreciate that. Does help the channel. And happy trading. PRX says, don't delete it. Don't. Okay, I won't. All right. Take it easy. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care. Bye.